Have you ever faced a challenge so heavy it felt impossible to overcome? I've been there too. I'm Mia, and this is My Voice of Victory, a podcast where we turn trials into triumphs. Each episode, I'll share real stories of resilience, faith, health, and relationships, reminding you that even in your hardest moments, victory is possible. Join me on this journey of hope and healing, because your story carries a voice to victory too.
Do you hear the wind? It's picking up. The sky, oh my gosh, is so dark. A storm is coming. Do you hear the rattling? Do you see the dust rising? Do you feel it? It's intense. The pressure. A storm is coming. Things begin to blow. You can barely hold on. The wind is picking up. The sky is getting even darker. It's a storm coming. Well, that was my situation, my life. September 2018. I arrived at a doctor's appointment with hopes to get answers. But the answer that I got was not the one that I wanted. It sounded something like this. Miss Gray, I'm sorry to tell you that the biopsy came back positive for invasive ductal carcinoma, and we need to do something. It was a big lump in my throat, and I just stopped for a minute. It was as though the storm had come suddenly without warning. What was I going to do? How was I going to deal with this? How was I going to face this? Who was I going to share this with? I could not dare tell anybody. I fought so hard all my life to be healthy, to make wise decisions, to make wise choices. How did this happen to me? It was as though the doctor put everything on fast forward at that moment. You know, a tape recorder from back in the day when you wanted to speed up to the next section. It was like, and everything for that hour, 2 hours became a blur. The drive home was very numb, very quiet. That quiet that you get right before the storm. I created this very podcast out of obedience, one. But because I found out later that there were so many others who were carrying heavy burdens, silent battles, unseen scars, yet they were still showing up for everyone else but themselves. Yeah, I was that one too. When the storm hit in 2018, I couldn't dare share what was going on. I added the weight to my life, and I continued on, and I pressed forward to be the number one wife, the number one mom, the number one sister, the number one friend, the number one worker, because that numbed the pain. That quieted the voices in my head. That allowed me to still have control and be me. However, it didn't make it easier. It didn't make my situation lighter. It didn't even cure the problem. In fact, it continued to grow and grow and grow till I found myself in a very dark pit, one that I couldn't get out of, one that even my fondest strategies couldn't get me out of, one where I couldn't even phone a friend for help, one that I felt like I was sinking deeper, deeper, and deeper. Well, friend, my voice of victory was birthed out of those moments. My voice of victory was birthed in 2018. But because of the weight on my life, because of the fear that had overtaken me, I couldn't open my mouth. I couldn't open my mind to share, not even thinking that others might be going through the very same thing that I was going through. I didn't realize that 2018 wasn't designed to take me out, even though it felt like a tsunami and a tornado and a hurricane all in one. It wasn't designed to take me out. All I could see was the destruction. All I could feel was the pain. All I was surrounded by was fear. But there was a little glimmer of hope, a little glimmer of light, way down deep inside that no one else could see, that I could barely feel because of all the weights of the world. But I knew it was there. I knew it was in there. I could feel a spark every once in a while, letting me know that the light hadn't gone out. Well, that was 2018. Life took a turn. But I decided that I was going to continue to press on. I was going to continue to find a way. I was going to continue to be the woman that I have always been. The one who stood up, who rose to the occasion, who made sure the children were well, the husband was well, things for work was well, the house was well. That woman, I needed to continue to be her. I needed to continue to do all the things that I knew to do. Why stop? Why become lazy as I was taught or as I was brought up? If I sat still, things wouldn't get done. If I let my responsibility go, no one else would pick it up. So that wasn't an option. So I kept going. I kept doing. I would muster up the strength, pull up the bootstraps, and I would go, and I would do, and I would be the woman that I thought I should be. I would go, and I would do. I would do even more. I would do more than most people in 4 hours in the morning because I was the first to rise and the last to go to bed. So I had more time than most. I continued to go. I continued to do. But here's the thing. After a while, it became rhythmic. It became so rhythmic that it became numb. I became numb to my own world. I became numb to my own feelings. I became numb to who I was. I was a mom. I was a wife. I was a friend. I was an employee. I was an entrepreneur. So I thought. Life continued to go on. Life got heavier, but I pressed. I would not quit. I would not give up. I would stand the test and the trials of time. You know, I had the strength. I had the courage. And, I could add faith to it, and I'm sure it would be so much easier. I had a relationship with God. I knew God. But I've been doing this for such a long time, and it's been working. So let's continue on. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever been in a situation where what you've been doing is what you continue to do because that's what you know? And for many years, it's been working. And even though you know it's not working, it still works more than something new? Yeah, I'm sure. What weights do you hold on to? What weights do you allow to just keep pressing you down? Oh, wait, they don't press you down because you rise again, right? You rise again for the next emergency. You rise again to be the next person that can handle the heaviest problem. You rise again, and then you become the one that everybody looks to rise when something falls apart. But it's okay, because you can put the cape back on and you can continue, because it makes you feel good. And if you feel good, then you're not dealing with the pain of a diagnosis. You're not dealing with the pain of feeling unloved. You're not dealing with the pain. You're not dealing with the fear. You're not dealing with the cards that you've been dealt. It took me a while to sit with that. It took me a while to even know that I didn't have to do that. It took me a while. Yeah, it took me a long while. Because remember, the storm began in 2018. And here I am today in 2025 by God's grace. And I finally learned. I finally surrendered. I finally relinquished the falsehood, the falseness of who I thought I was, who I was acting as. I finally relinquished that. And I finally stepped up to the mic. And I'm sharing who I am, whose I am, and why I am. And guess what, friend? Just that revelation and obedience has allowed the weights of the world to become lighter, to become easier, and truly, they have become something or some things that no longer serve me in a way that's profitable, in a way that it's healing, in a way that has a good outcome for my life. So what am I saying? Friend, you have possibly encountered a storm like no other, one that may have caused more weights to come on your life, one that has caused you to forget who you are, one that may have even allowed you to discover who you are, which is very different than who you portray to be. You don't have to carry the weight on your own. You don't have to be the person that everybody depends on. Because, friend, let me tell you, from years of experience, it didn't make me healthier and it didn't make me wiser. So in 2025, when that storm attempted to completely overtake my life to the point where I could no longer rise to the occasion, it was at that moment that I knew that it was no longer about others. It was about putting me first, putting God first, and everything else would be added. Trust me, it's a daily learn, but it's a learn that you want. Because, friend, my healing was tied in my obedience. My healing has been tied in me letting the reins go and me letting God be God. One of the things that has stood out to me, and one of the reasons why I'm bringing you Voice of Victory, I wanted to create a space. I wanted to create a space that you could come to where you could glean, learn, and rest, where you could overcome fear, where you could lay down your burdens, where you didn't have to fight battles silently or alone, where you could actually let your scars be seen, because it's not to be hidden. You have and hold someone else's answer. I wanted to create a place where you can be you. You can be you for you and not for somebody else. I wanted to create a space where you can find a path that simplifies your healing journey, where you don't have all the noise, where you don't feel like the sky is getting dark, where you don't feel like the heaviness of the world is trying to overtake you. Friend, I wanted to create this space where you could know that victory is possible. It's not by happenstance that you're listening. It's not by happenstance that you were invited to listen. It was designed, it was ordained, and it is for such a time as this. It's not too late. You're not in too deep. You're in just the right moment, just the right space to receive a miracle, to walk in victory, to lessen the burden, to overcome fear and doubt and shame, and rise up and truly be the one that God has called you to be. I'm here for you. I'm here for it. I have walked through the fire with God at my side, and I know that without Him, none of this would have been possible. No longer am I stepping before Him. No longer am I trying to be Him. I am in a position and I am in a posture to be. The Lord says, be still and know that I am God. Friend, I want to challenge you today. I want to challenge you to erase the old thought patterns and begin to sit still. Psalms 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. You don't have to do all day, every day. You don't have to do to get the acknowledgement of people. God says, be still, friend. In the stillness, you can find a fullness of joy. In stillness, you can allow your body to heal. In stillness, you can discover who you are, the power within you, and why He put you where He has. He didn't bring you there for the storm to overtake you. He brought you there so that He could partner with you, so that He could partner with you. Any partnership, not one person is left to do the job. They work together. And so He wants to partner with you, friend. He wants you to find victory in the storm. He wants you to live a victorious life. And He wants you to understand that you too have a voice of victory. Friend, you found the right place. Here at My Voice of Victory, I'm excited to share true stories. I'm excited to share God's undeniable love. I'm here to share hope to replace your fear. And I'm here to let you know and to be your cheerleader when all others leave. Friend, you can make it. You can do it. You don't have to live a defeated life. You were made victorious. You are one who can walk in victory. Let's go, friend. It's go time. Until next time.
Thank you for joining me today on My Voice of Victory. I pray this episode reminded you that no matter the diagnosis, the pain, or the fear, your healing and your victory are already written in Christ. If this message spoke to your heart, share it with a friend who needs encouragement today. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And then connect with our community of faith-filled individuals walking this journey together at Victory Path, where we believe in being well, being healed, and truly living. Until next time, keep standing, keep believing, and let your voice declare victory.